Hi, welcome back to Finally Revealed. In this episode, I want to add on to our jury duty series, and this and another video I'm going to put up at the same time is on the burden of proof. In the U.S., we have two different kinds of jury trials, the criminal trial and the civil trial. Civil claims have a certain type of burden of proof based upon what the claim is, and criminal trials have a burden of proof for each element of the charge, the crime that's being alleged. So in this video, I want to talk about the civil burden of proof. There are two main burdens of proof that apply. One is preponderance of the evidence, which covers most civil claims. Now, you don't need to memorize this. When you go in for deliberation at the conclusion of the trial, as I say in another video, the court will give you written instructions, or maybe they use iPads or something in some courts, but you will have some way that you have these individual instructions, and they will start at the beginning and you will just read them as a group, discuss them as a group, answer the question, and then go on. And each one builds on the others, so that by the time you get to the end, if you had found A and B and C, then they are one side wins and one side loses, and then you decide damages and then you're finished. Or if you found A and B but not C, then the other side wins. So preponderance of the evidence is the majority of the burden of proof for civil cases. And what it means is that the one side proved by a preponderance of the evidence, meaning it was more likely true than not true that this happened, or this agreement was made, or for each individual element. So more likely than not, the fact that was stated was true. So that's preponderance of the evidence. The other standard that applies in a civil case is clear and convincing evidence. This is the highest burden that there is in a civil matter. Now, the very highest burden is beyond a reasonable doubt, which I'll talk about in the other video, and that's for criminal. The burden of proof in civil matters is less than it is in criminal matters, because criminal matters are involving someone's liberty. A person is going to be possibly incarcerated or worse based upon what happens at the trial. In a civil case, while if you're ever involved in a civil case, you might feel like it's just as bad as being locked up or put to death, but the impact or the result is about equity, which means doing or not doing something, or at law, which means paying or not paying some money, or having a judgment, or losing property. So that's the difference. So the other burden of proof, one is preponderance of the evidence, which covers most things. Basically, do you believe it or don't believe it, based upon all of the evidence. And then clear and convincing is used in situations where there may be punitive damages involved, or there is some other more onerous penalty, such as fraud or those types of things. So this one is called clear and convincing evidence. Now, it's interesting that there are different definitions based upon wherever you are. We have a legal dictionary called Black's Law Dictionary, and it's funny because I found a couple of cases where they quoted Black's Law Dictionary, and they're different. So here are the two definitions that the dictionary showed. One, a court said that it meant evidence indicating the thing to be proved is highly probable or reasonably certain. And that's what Black's Law Dictionary said in 1 year. Most recently, a court cited to Black's Law Dictionary stating that clear and convincing means evidence which is positive, precise, and explicit as opposed to ambiguous, equivocal, or contradictory. Proof, and which tends to directly establish the point instead of leaving it as a matter of conjecture or presumption. So it's proved, okay, clear and convincing. Then a couple of courts have defined it as evidence of such a weight, meaning importance, that it produces in the mind of the trier of fact, which is you, the jury, a firm belief or conviction without hesitancy as to the truth of the allegations that are to be established. Clear and convincing evidence. And then another court more succinctly said that it is evidence so clear, direct, weighty, and convincing as to enable a clear conviction. So those are the two standards of proof in a civil case. You don't have to memorize them, but I just wanted to put them out there. If you are getting ready to go into jury duty and they say it's a civil case, you are going to be dealing with one of these burdens, and that might help you as you watch the trial. All right? Give me a thumbs up if this was helpful to you or if you learned something. Leave any comments or questions below. Please subscribe to see our other videos, and thanks to everyone who has. Come back and see me next time. Thanks for watching.